Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be talking about the danger of sugar, health risks of taking too much sugar. If you'd like to stay updated on more future health guide, please like, subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell to be updated. Now let's get started. I'd like to warn you that you may not want to eat sugar again after watching this video, or you will reduce your sugar level tremendously. Most people knows that sugar is actually bad, but not everyone knows how it affects the body. In fact, sugar affects almost every part of your body. Eating too much sugar can actually make you gain weight and cause you tooth decay. Eating too much sugar can contribute to people having too many calories, which can lead to weight gain. Being overweight increases your risk of health problems such as heart attack, cancer, and type 2 diabetes. Okay, now I'm going to show you some slides of a Cancer Research Fund and American Institute for Cancer Research. Okay. So basically, the Cancer Research Fund and the American Institute for Cancer Research says that being overweight or obese throughout adulthood is associated with an increased risk of 12 different cancers: bowel cancer, breast cancer, gallbladder cancer, kidney cancer, liver cancer, mouth, pharynx and larynx cancer, esophageal cancer, ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, stomach cancer, womb cancer. So you can see the dangers of sugar because of it can cause obese, right? It can actually lead to cancer. It's what the sugar does to your waistline that actually can lead to cancer. Okay, so sugar fits every cell in our body, even cancer cells. Unhealthy weight gain and lack of exercise can increase your cancer risk. How do you know you have actually high sugar level? It's actually by the blood test, which you go to do in your clinic. Okay, doctors will actually request you to go to the nurse and draw up some blood for blood tests. The blood test will look at your red blood cells to measure your sugar levels, diagnose diabetics. Through a test called A1C. A1C test, also known as the hemoglobin A1C or HbA1c test, is a simple blood test that measures your average blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. It's one of the commonly used tests to diagnose pre-diabetics and diabetics. And it's also the main test to help you and your healthcare team manage your diabetics. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what does the A1C test measure. Let me show you the second slide. Okay, so what does it measure? It measures the percentage of glycation on the hemoglobin. So you can see the process. When the sugar enters the bloodstream, it attaches to the hemoglobin in the red blood cell. And people with high blood sugar has more glucose attached to the hemoglobin. Okay. So yeah, basically it's when sugar enters your bloodstream, it attaches to the hemoglobin, a protein in your red blood cell. There is this chemical reaction of binding that occurs, and that's called glycation. So glycation is the amount of sugar that binds with that hemoglobin and then renders it inactive. It can't work anymore. And so based on how much sugar you have stuck to your hemoglobin can determine what your A1C is. Everyone has some sugar attached to their hemoglobin. but people with higher blood sugar levels have more. The A1C test measures the percentage of your red blood cells that have sugar-coated hemoglobin. What A1C results measures is actually diagnosing the pre-diabetics or diabetics conditions and whether are you normal or not. Example, you have an A1C of 5.6 or less. That will be considered normal. This means that 5.7% or less of your hemoglobin in red blood cells were found to be sugar-coated. And so the term 5.7 is actually the total amount of hemoglobin in your blood that is stuck to the sugar molecule. So it's between 5.7% to 6%, 6.4% actually. Okay, you are actually pre-diabetic. And when you get over 6.5%, you are actually diabetic. You can see the table in this chart. So basically, normal is actually below 5.7%. Pre-diabetic is actually between 5.7% to 6.4%. And then diabetic is actually 6.5%. So basically what this means in simple terms is that the red blood cell should normally be flexible. It should be able to hold oxygen and carry oxygen to the tissues, and it shouldn't be very sticky. It should be free flow and carry oxygen to the body and release the oxygen, and then also pick up the CO2 and then bring that back into the lungs where it can be reoxygenated. So the more that this protein in your red blood cell gets stuck with sugar, the more your red blood cells are going to be stiff. It's going to be very, very sticky, and it's going to form clumps, and so that increases your risk of getting a clot. But when the red blood cells become very stiff, it can't bend. So what happens is that the blood flows from capillaries to your arteries and veins. They get stuck. Okay, they get stuck. So what are capillaries? Okay. Capillaries are actually delicate blood vessels that exist throughout your body. They transport blood nutrients and oxygen to cells, to your organs and body systems. Capillaries are the smallest blood vessels in your vascular systems. Capillaries complete the circular systems by connecting arteries to the veins. So what do the capillaries do? Capillaries complete the circular system by connecting arteries to the veins. Okay. The arteries actually carry the oxygen-rich blood from the heart to your organs. Veins help the body to remove the low oxygen blood and waste. We have the arteries that push the blood down to the end of your body, like the toes and your fingers. And that's where the capillaries are working. And then it goes in reverse. It comes the venous system, the veins, and then brings the blood back up through the lungs to start this whole cycle over again. So the arteries are filled with this red blood that oxygenated, and then as we use the oxygen, the return blood flow to the veins are like a bluish red because they have less oxygen. But if your red blood cell is not flexible, it is rigid, it is stiff, it can't bend, get stuck. And then that stuffs out the tissue, and that's why a diabetic starts noticing tingling in the fingertips. And usually the toes or the bottom of the foot, they start feeling an abnormal sensation like numbness or even pain or burning. What's happening is the blood cells are too stiff. and they can't seem to get through the pipes, and then we start off the tissues with oxygen. We start off the nerves with oxygen, and they start to die. That is the first change that happens on the road to necrosis or gangrene, where the tissues actually die. And when the tissues don't get oxygen and they start dying, you start having an increase of unfriendly microbes. It's called pathogens. And unfriendly fungus start to grow. And so when you have gangrene, you have a lot of infection going on in the body because certain pathogens thrive in this low oxygen environment. And this is when you get amputation, when there is basically someone is diabetic. Okay, so when there's someone has too much sugar and lack of oxygen, they will get amputation. Okay, so this is the symptom. It starts off as a peripheral neuropathy where the nerves are affected, and then you get ulcers, and then you get necrosis or dying tissues, and then gangrene, and you have to start removing different sections of the foot. Maybe start with the toe or the ankle or whatever. So the effects of this interaction between sugar and this protein really messes up the red blood cell. It really brings down the red blood cells' ability to carry oxygen. It also reduces the volume of red blood cells. So if you're anemic, do take note. So take note, the symptoms as mentioned is like ulcer, slow healing wound, shooting, burning pain, sensitivity to touch, lack of sensation, increased falls, troubled sleeping, difficulty walking, tingling of the numb pit, which I mentioned just now. So normally, people like to take iron or B12 for anemic. But is it really going to work on top of this problem where your diet is very, very high in sugar, causing the anemia? The answer is no. If you still continue to take high amounts of sugar, no matter how much you take the iron or B12, it will not help with your anemia if you are actually taking high sugars. But for those who do not have high sugar level, their reason for anemic is due to the lack of iron or B12. Then taking of iron and B12 pills will actually help them. When you have high blood sugar causing anemic, you don't have enough oxygen. You have difficulty climbing up the stairs and get out of breath easily. You are going to have a hard time exercising because you're not going to have oxygen, so you are going to get tired easily. This will lead you to try to take coffee with caffeine to boost your energy level. Okay. But coffee doesn't help you. Coffee has sugar. It will cause you red blood cells to be stuck, with sugar causing blockages, difficulty to have a smooth flow of blood. Okay, smooth flow of blood. Okay, so this is normal blood and this is anemic. Now the third, the next organ, the ninth slide which I'm showing now, is actually your eyes. The eyes is a very sensitive organ that we need to see. If we can't see it, it will be disastrous. So yeah, those people that takes high sugar will affect their eyes. That is why you have a higher incident of visual problems, diabetic retinopathy, damaging the back of the eye. in the retina, where you can actually go blind because you are basically stopping off the nerves that the eye needs to function well. Lack of oxygen, not enough oxygen. Okay. So laboratory and epidemiological data indicate that the high blood sugar levels and or consuming high glycemic high sugar diets are linked to multiple age-related diseases, including age-related macular degeneration, cataract, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, diabetic retinopathy, and apparently glaucoma. High concentrations of blood sugars and perturbations of the system that regulate blood sugar leads to the accumulation of advanced glycation and products AGEs. AGEs are toxic compounds that are formed from the combination of sugars and their metabolism lattice with biomolecules in a non-enzymatic biochemical reaction called glycation. In vitro and vivo data indicate that high sugar consumption is associated with accumulation of AGEs in a variety of human tissues. Hyperglycemia, along with oxidative environment and limited cell proliferation in many ocular diseases, encourages formation and regulates the dilution of AGEs and associate damage by cell division. This circulation makes your eye tissue vulnerable to glycation-derived damage. Glycation causes you not to see well. You're going to have problems like glaucoma, cataracts. You're going to have macular degenerations, and you start to need glasses because you can't see. So you just keep getting thicker and thicker glasses. But in reality, you need to change your diet now. Another area of the body that is affected is actually your gums. Okay, your gums with high sugar levels. You might get periodontal disease. Periodontal disease. What is periodontal disease? Periodontal disease are infections of the gums and bone that hold the teeth in place. Gum tissues disease is a problem that can happen if you're diabetic that isn't controlled well. The gum problem will give you a big headache. So what causes the gum disease in people with diabetics? Diabetics cause blood vessels to change. The thickened blood vessels can reduce the flow of nutrients and removal of waste from body tissues. This reduced blood flow can weaken the gums and bone. This puts them at a greater risk for infection. Diabetes that is not controlled well leads to higher blood sugar glucose levels in the mouth fluids. This promotes the growth of bacteria that can cause gum disease. On the other hand, infections from untreated periodontal disease can cause the blood sugar to rise and make it harder to control the diabetics. The next organ that is going to be affected is actually your kidney. The kidney is a very susceptible to this high level of sugar. Because think about what kidneys does. The kidney actually filters waste products from the body and passes them out in the urine. This gets rid of toxic in the body and regulates its water balance. If high sugar levels has been persistent for over many years, the filters in the kidney become very leaky and no longer be able to filter waste products as efficiently from the body. When the small blood vessels in your kidney are damaged, is disastrous. Okay, so just be careful on this. And the vessels been damaged will cause a disease known as diabetic nephropathy. So just be careful, as I said, be careful on this. Take note that it causes this condition. It's a very serious complication of type 1 diabetics and type 2 diabetics. It's a diabetic kidney disease. In the US, about 1 in 3 people living with diabetics have diabetic nephropathy. Diabetic nephropathy affects the kidney, the ability to do your usual work of removing waste products and extra fluid from your body. The kidney makes a certain thing called erythropoietin, which makes red blood cell in your bone marrow. Okay, so if we don't have enough erythropoietin, then we are not going to generate the number of red blood cells required. Your bone marrow makes like about 2 million red blood cells per second. It's like a machine that keeps on racking up these red blood cells. So the consumption of high sugar, you can't make those red blood cells at the right amount. You make a lot less than 2 million. Okay, so you become anemic. You become very tired because you don't have enough 2 million red blood cells in your body. You lack of oxygen. And especially when you exercise, you feel very, very tired. Okay, so now let's talk about the heart. Okay, the next organ. Diabetics and heart disease often go hand in hand. High sugar levels can damage blood vessels and the nerves that control your heart. Decreased blood flow to the heart can cause a heart attack. Decreased blood flow to the brain can cause a stroke. People with diabetics are more likely to have other conditions that raise the risk for heart disease. Heart disease is a very common disease and it's very serious. It's the leading cause of death for men and women in US. If you're diabetics, you're twice as likely to have heart disease or stroke than someone who doesn't have diabetics. And at a younger age, the longer you have diabetics, the more likely you are going to have heart disease. Adults with diabetics are twice likely to have a heart attack or stroke than those without it. Diabetics increase the chances of having a stroke, which can damage your brain disease and cause disability or even death. So, what should you do to prevent from getting diabetics? Heart attack, cancer, eye problems, kidney failure, tooth problems, gum problems. Basically, replace your desserts with non-sweet dessert. Look at your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Are they high sugar content? Replace the meals with low sugar content. Okay. Give up sugar drinks like fizzy drink, Coca-Cola. Do you know that Coca-Cola actually has 33 grams of sugar in 12 ounce 354 ml Coca-Cola can? You do your calculation. If every day you drink 3 cans, how many are there? It's about 120 grams of sugar you're eating. That's a lot. Okay. Drink more water instead. If you really want to be careful, you can stop taking sugar completely. I hope you find this video useful. If you find this video useful, please like and subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell to be updated for more future health guide. Thank you for watching Janice Ong channel. Have a great day ahead. Bye.